Okay, the sound is good and we can start. This will a relaxed session. It's not just educational, it's just a small talk, and we will talk about Jupyter notebooks. And Jupyter notebooks are best tool for data scientists and some kind of data engineers. I used as a software developer Jupyter notebooks as well because it's so nice to create some small algorithmic examples or some proof of concepts. It's easy to manage everything, and you can create your own queries or database things, not just for fancy machine learning things. It's quite nice feature, quite nice tool. And for that you have to install a huge amount of applications for your computer to run Jupyter notebooks, but there are plenty cloud services. Today I want to show some of them, some popular of them, and let's start with them, shall we? Okay, I would like to share my screen if I can. I think it's not my screen. Yes, it is. World of Notebooks. By the way, sorry about that. I'm Cihan Yakar. I'm Microsoft MVP on developer technologies. And our trip contains some good examples. The first one is mybinder.org. It's plenty simple, straightforward solution because it's so easy. There's it's opened on another window. Okay. In Binder, you have to just need a GitHub repository. It doesn't matter. You can enter your repository URL here and launch. It will automatically create a Jupyter notebook instance for you from your GitHub repository. And here's a sample of one of mine. And it's from Daron's examples. It's crashed. It worked before the demo, but we can go to further and the next example. The second tool is Datalore. Datalore is a JetBrains product. Maybe you know JetBrains. JetBrains is an awesome tool. Okay. It's closed, by the way. Sorry about that. Datalore is a JetBrains tool. JetBrains is an awesome company, I assume, because I used every tool of them, and Datalore is not an exception. In Datalore, you can create easily a notebook, and it's so straightforward. As a sample, I have two variables, and x and y. If I want to get some of them, a concatenation is a hello all. A simple thing. When I change this, the result will change. And you can see the machine status on bottom bar, and you can change your instance sizes. The prices are not so high in Datalore, and basic machine is free. Basic machine, as you can see, is 4 gigabytes RAM, and in Pro versions you can get more powerful machines. But in everyday jobs, the small machine is good enough. I prefer this tool, but we have plenty of other tools. The most popular tool is Google's Colab. Google Colab needs just only a Google account, and it's also free for basic stuff. And you can create a Jupyter notebook, and you can share, and as its name call up, and you can use this tool, this notebook, with your friends or your colleagues together. And the hardest one, sorry, Microsoft, but the hardest one is the Microsoft's version, because in Microsoft versions you have to have one Azure account, and you need some subscription payments, and you have to create a long. Okay, sorry for interruption. We are on Microsoft Azure Machine Learning Studio now. In Azure Machine Learning Studio, we can also create Jupyter notebooks as well. In this version, we need to create Azure subscription, and we have to create a notebook instance. In notebook instance, we have to, let me show it. We have to need a worker, and this worker, there's no free version of workers in Microsoft solution, and in these workers also just limited to some regions. First, I tried a Frankfurt instance, but it doesn't work because there's no free machine. But in US versions, you can find free machines to work on it, and it's otherwise it's same good Jupyter notebooks. And the best one is, I think, for my opinion, the Kaggle. In Kaggle, you can find plenty of data sets, and the notebook version is so straightforward, so easy. And
just a small interruption. Sorry, Sami here. Your screen is very small, so people cannot really read what's on your screen.
Okay, sorry.
This is much better. Thank you.
In Kaggle is so easy to use because it's just one click. It's just you can just one click to open a notebook, and you can share your notebooks with whole community, and you can also look up other community members' notebooks for some solutions. You know, there's plenty of different machine learning problems, and you can examine other solutions, and you can get more experience on it. And another tool is, it's looking nice looking Amazon tool. It's Sagemaker. And Sagemaker is also a Jupyter notebook instance. And I will try my version pre-created, because like Azure, it needs a subscription, and for subscription a credit card required, and etc. etc. You have to create a virtual machine on behind, and it's a long process, but the result is same. You will get a good of Jupyter notebook, but it's also a plain vanilla Jupyter notebook, because it doesn't contain any fancy things like others. And Pepperspace also in their website, you can see it's one-click Jupyter notebooks, and it's my version, and I get another error. Maybe I can log in it again. Let's try it. Okay. Okay. It's working somehow. In Pepperspace, they use a modified version of Jupyter Notebook. They call it gradient notebooks. And if you want, you can open original Jupyter Notebook version of this book here. And we can continue with our next candidate. It also stops. I want to open their landing page, and maybe I can open it with a private window. Okay, FloydHub. FloydHub is another solution, and they have a beginner free version too. And in free version is also just basic, and okay. Okay, my machine has stopped, and yes, there is. There is our book, and it's only supports Python 3 now, and there is our book. It's quite easy. And our next candidate is CoCalc. It's a bit complicated, but it's also a nice tool. But the best feature of CoCalc is it doesn't require any authentication or authorization or something else. You can easily open a book, and a shareable book like GS Fiddle or CodePen or something like that, open a free notebook without needs any authentication. Just open it and click Run button. Your notebook is ready. And it saves everything it's on your computer. And if you sign up, and you can save your jobs too, and you can share your workings with your friends, and it supports different kind of frameworks and kernels. There's a plenty of kernels here, except C#. C# kernel is released, but even Microsoft doesn't support it. But here's a plenty of kernels: JavaScript, Julia, Octave, also others. And it's all easy version. It's just open it and use it. DeepNote is another version, another tool, and it's also easy to use, but it needs account for use, but you can use your Google account or GitHub account for use it. But its interface is so nice, I assume. It's so clean and good looking interface. It's just my style. It's clean. And there's another tool, this Saturn tool. Check out my demo. Its UI is a bit complicated. If you don't know what you do, you can easily forget your way. And say our AI demo. Yeah, old good vanilla Jupyter Notebook. In Saturn, they have their own kernel version, and it's not so bad, not so good. It's just their own version. And the last one is, I don't know how it's pronounced, Zephyr or not, but they have a free trained version. And let me check out my pre-created notebook. Yeah, here it is. And it has also plenty of good features, and you can you bind your data sets, your files, and you can a version of your books, like repository versions, and you can check your resources, data, you can monitor your usage, etc., etc. And it's also nice too. There are other tools as well. I checked them before the demo, but they are not. They didn't work. Especially Oracle. I tried Oracle, but Oracle's version doesn't work. I don't know. But I think my first demos are not shown because of my screen sharing problem. The first one was a binder. In Binder, you just enter your GitHub repository. You can clone your GitHub repository from Binder's website, and it will open a new Jupyter book for you. And Datalore is my choice, and Datalore is also a good tool. And I think I showed up every versions, every alternatives. Is there any questions, or let me check. There's no questions, by the way. And also, maybe I can share you with a small fun fact. Jupyter Notebook's name is come from Julia, Python, and R. They smash together and get Jupyter name. And it's just fun fact. And the next session will begin. Oh, I finished it so early. Yeah. Yeah, I think it takes more time, but it's finished so early because my other things are not worked. Unfortunate, or like Daron, but my things is getting much worse. Okay, then is Daron is here? I don't know. Is Daron here? Maybe we can